A lawyer for a number of trustees from the Dalton Village Board has asked a Cook County judge to find Tiffany Henyard in contempt of court for her noncompliance with a temporary restraining order after prosecutors allegedly hauled her into court following a fresh $10 million swindle. 3 recently appointed Dalton officials are unable to take up their positions due to the temporary restraining order that was issued last week. One of the appointments was Ronnie Burge Sr., who was chosen by Henyard to be the village's police chief. However, the trustees did not approve of Henyard's choices. The attorney for the majority of the Dalton trustees asserts that Burge is breaking the restraining order by failing to turn over his keys, badge, and uniform to the village police department. Henyard is accused of interfering with Keith Freeman's duties as Dalton's village administrator by refusing to return his keys, badge, and uniform to the village police department. According to the lawsuit, Henyard is now involved in a complex web of legal issues and investigations, including a federal grand jury investigation that began in November 2023. In a recent development, a Cook County judge ruled that newly hired employees are not allowed to work in Village Hall since their appointments were found to be in violation of both the Dalton Village Code and the Illinois Municipal Code. Other concerning events have appeared for Tiffany Henyard. As reported by Fox 302, the landlord claims that Chicago Henyard and her companion Kamal Woods have been residing at Henyard's rental property on the 14,600 block of South Harvard for the past 3 years, but Cook County has issued an eviction notice against them. Henyard has denied requests for property inspections, and there is $3,300 in overdue rent.
Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her boyfriend have been served an eviction notice. The property owner saying the two are months behind.
In response to inquiries concerning the eviction notice, Henyard told Fox 32 that the charges were untrue and that she was making her rent payments on time. However, the notice indicates that she will be appearing in court on October 22nd, which paints a troubling picture. According to WGN investigations, neighbors recently learned that a block party she organized in collaboration with Thornton Township cost an incredible $85,000, especially in light of the criticism surrounding her spending habits.
This story can't get any more bizarre than it does. So Mayor Tiffany Henyard of Dalton, she's been accused of using taxpayer money on lavish trips to Las Vegas, luxury vehicles, just last month throwing a street party, and now she's been accused of not paying her rent.
Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was contacted by the village trustees to investigate how Henyard caused the Dalton Village General Fund to fall into a $3.65 million deficit. According to preliminary data, Henyard significantly increased the police budget by spending over $443,000 on Amazon in a single day, which critics claim was a tactic to recruit police as her personal assistant. Security information. According to CBS News, the FBI has started its own investigation into Dalton Village Hall, despite the fact that no new information has been made public. The trustees' increasing dissatisfaction with her behavior has led a judge to side with them and issue an injunction prohibiting Henyard from bringing new members to the village without their consent.
But Henyard is now at the center of the wrong kind of attention. Allegations of corruption and political retaliation being lobbed at her from trustees, business owners.
This time, the walls enclosed Tiffany Henyard in a shocking development comparable to a crime, and there's a lot more going on than simply whispers or stories. The surface of the thriller footage could be disastrous for the bagger figure. The twist is that her own team is reportedly the source of the leak, not a cunning outsider or undercover journalist. Sources claim that Henyard is losing control and is now in full-blown panic. Is this a betrayal from within her ranks, or is Karma rearing its head? Whatever the truth, it appears that Henyard's days of playing the innocent card are quickly coming to an end. According to recent news, Dalton's mayor, Tiffany Henyard, is causing trouble once more, appearing to enjoy the chaos that follows her every move on what should have been a peaceful Tuesday evening. A trustees' meeting was abruptly called off due to low attendance. Most people would have ignored the matter, but But Henyard made headlines by bringing in a new village administrator and attorney. She even brought her lawyer, who wasn't afraid to criticize the trustees for their absence, as though she were pleading with the board to take action and help spread her message, which allows anyone to blame Tiffany Henyard for her failure. More unpredictable residents have been complaining that Henyard has transformed Village Hall into a high-security fortress by blocking entrances and limiting seating. You might wonder why, but according to Henyard's team, it was all for security. The most recent blow to her was that she behaved like someone desperately trying to hold onto sand during a violent windstorm, with each frantic movement causing the power to slip away faster. The already tenuous hold on power was further weakened when Illinois Attorney General Kwang R's office disclosed that her administration had violated the Open Meetings Act twice during their June and July meetings to correct the record. It seems that one sarcastic letter to Henyard mother's home was enough to turn the entire house into a stronghold, this blue marker letter named. While Henyard and her mother are certainly unpleasant, they hardly pose a serious threat. With less than 20 people attending this week's alleged meeting, the Attorney General's office essentially ignored the matter, calling it a major overreaction with no basis whatsoever. The worst part is that this supposed evidence of danger didn't even surface until after 2 meetings had already taken place. The show is starting to fail, and even Tiffany's most devoted admirers may be losing interest in this never-ending soap opera. Tiffany seems to be relying on her drama to maintain her grasp on power, even if it takes breaching the law and putting on an unexpected spectacle by appointing a new village administrator and lawyer during the mayhem. Henyard seems unable to escape being at the center of the meet-up for anyone who requires a quick refresher as her power dwindled. Tiffany decided to rekindle her flagging support for Keith Freeman, her former right-hand man who had previously been the village administrator. Tiffany appears to be attempting to rearrange the deck and give herself a new hand. But this strategy is only raising suspicions because this is the same Keith Freeman who used to know everything about Tiffany. Although trustee Jason House is unsure, he has already declared these appointments illegitimate, claiming that the new appointees won't see ASIN. These last-minute appointments seem more like a desperate attempt to regain control than a calculated strategy. So even though Tiffany may think she is taking a risk, it's important to protect her secrets and stay by her side before their relationship fell apart. Her bid seems destined to backfire. Tiffany boldly stood her ground during the meeting, saying, "Just pay attention to who stirs up all the drama in your community. That's how you can tell who's really a PL." Jason has stated that these appointments mean nothing, her promises are empty, and there is no funding. Her comments appeared to agitate the other trustees, including Valeria. A former village trustee, Stubbs, expressed her views and noted that no appointments could be made while Keith Freeman was still in office. It is increasingly clear that Henyard's inner circle is getting smaller, and Keith Freeman is at the center of it all. According to the law, the meeting should have been adjourned because there was not a quorum, and there were rumors that Henyard attempted to cut off contact with Freeman as, despite his years of obeying her orders and getting his hands on her property, things have gone considerably worse since she first believed he might be conspiring with the FBI against her. Freeman has a lengthy history of legal troubles, so his record isn't exactly perfect. When matters became complicated in April, Henyard appeared reluctant to provide any help. Freeman was accused of bankruptcy fraud. Claims of unlawful retaliation against employees who claimed they were fired from Dothan and Thoron Township for refusing to support Henyard were among the many lawsuits he is currently facing. The Human Resources Department revealed his termination via an email notification, stating that his high-ranking position within the company had been used to conceal his assets and sources of income in his bankruptcy petition. Such misconduct is inappropriate and detrimental to the township's operations. A surge in Freeman's legal issues, including charges of bankruptcy fraud for allegedly concealing his assets, corresponded with speculations that he had spoken with federal investigators, which further exacerbated his decline. His former ally Henyard would seem like a lifeline, but she quickly distanced herself. She tried to clear their association before things became more complicated. But Henyard's plan to sever their ties ran into problems because the Board of Trustees refused to comply. In a recent development, trusted Jason House highlighted a significant rift between Freeman and Henyard and emphasized that the board should also be informed about Freeman's termination and any possible promotion that might. Consequence of it, curiously, Freeman remains firmly in his role as village administrator despite Henyard's repeated attempts to get him fired. Yet, Keith seems to have done better than prior staff members. His luck may be running out after Tiffany was fired since 3 former workers have sued him, and there are suspicions that Keith has been working with the federal government and Henyard. Given the board's support for Freeman, reports indicate he has substantial evidence of Tiffany's corrupt activities. This revelation may help to explain why Henyard appears eager to sever ties with Keith for the time being, but the conflict is still far from over, particularly in light of Tiffany's recent strategy during a meeting. That this isn't the first time Tiffany has used manipulation to achieve her goals. Tiffany called a town meeting recently, and not a single board member showed up. This is the definition of shameless tenacity, but she didn't let it stop her from taking to the stage and making the event her own melodrama, saying that the entire corruption scandal was just a grandiose propaganda campaign designed to discredit her. Oh yeah. Glorious Rain declared, "This is my declaration. If you don't want to listen, go to the door. This isn't a clue and a session. I'm here to tell the residents about what's really happening in Thoron Township." However, the town's residents couldn't stand Tiffany's antics any longer, and one brave attendant broke through her tie and said bluntly, "The residents already know you're stealing from them." With unrelenting resolve, undeterred as if the disturbance had never occurred, Tiffany resumed her speech. The animosity toward your so-called super mayor stems from her rapid ascent to power, and the debates surrounding her revolve around the fact that I am truly unique. Let's face it, it's all about control. Tiffany's issues are going smoothly. Their origins go beyond simple public relations errors. Untrustworthy spending patterns, even as she attempts to balance her responsibilities as mayor. The community is rife with rumors about her extravagant spending patterns and use of township and funds. The results were astounding. After meticulously going through court documents to find credit card information, Tiffany and her inner circle incurred an astounding $67,000 in travel, utilized her position to gain more power by controlling residents, merchants, and staff because she had faith in the government. The whistleblower revealed that she had previously stayed quiet about Henry's extravagant excursions and spending during recent board meetings. But that trust has already disappeared, and it's probable that she took her time to listen to her conscience after everything seemed to be firmly under Henyard's control as she recklessly maxed out credit cards as if there were no tomorrow. It's also important to remember that Henyard allegedly used her own squad of police officers to intimidate anyone who dared to oppose her. With such oppressive backing, it makes sense that many people were afraid to voice their concerns. A brief explanation. Supporters are appropriately making fun of Henyard. Her insinuation that this train wreck is so close to being indicted that it's mind-boggling that she can fool herself into thinking that arrest can't come soon enough carries a lot of weight. But the moment Henyard turned to accusing Carmen of negligence in her handling of the case, did you notice that given how silent she has been throughout it, even refusing to speak to the media without her lawyer present? Duties, that's not the end of today's video. Stay tuned for more star speculations, and we'll see you in the next one. She unintentionally revealed the mistreatment Tiffany endured, and rumors of her incapacity spread widely. Instead of confronting the underlying issues, she chose to lash out at the media for not portraying her in a positive light, claiming it was a mature response. Tiffany has been traveling pedestal since assuming the position, and given the current events, her time as a free spirit is quickly coming to an end.